Hello everybody. As far as my choosing of the specialty was concerned, when I finished as a post-graduation, at that time there was a lot of interest in lasers in ophthalmology because they were new when I was a postgraduate. So my interest was very much in retina, and that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to join as a senior resident in retina, but in our center we join as per the vacancy. So when I got my joining, it was into cornea. So for me, it was by force or by default that I came into cornea, and cornea was not my first choice at that point in time. But of course, when I look back retrospectively, it is cornea and cornea that I would always want to do. So cornea itself keeps you going, and to begin with, although I had my thesis in cornea, but I was more interested in cataract and refractive surgery. And then I went along down the line, I realized that cataract and refractive surgery is something which everybody is doing. So I wanted to do something in cornea, some path breaking studies, some path breaking learnings in cornea and ocular surface for that matter, which would make a difference. Which would make a difference to the way we treat the patients. For instance, chemical injuries, for instance, Stevens-Johnson syndrome, for instance, ocular cicatricial pemphigoid, etc. So these things, they make a lot of, if you do any study in these fields, would make a lot of difference, because not all ophthalmologists are wanting to or willing to treat these patients. So corneal transplantation itself, is something which keeps you going, because that gives you a different kind of a high, it gives you a different kind of a pleasure. And when you innovate techniques in corneal transplantation surgery, or you do techniques which have come in corneal transplantation from a full thickness cornea to now a partial thickness or customized approach where you do a layer by layer corneal replacement. Initially we were doing corneal transplantation, then ocular surface came with a big bang, and it came with vengeance, I should say, and there were so many solutions to problems which were there in the ocular surface, which earlier people used to just give lubricants, and then there were path breaking studies and results, stem cell procedures, stem cell laboratories, cultures, endothelial cell cultures, limbal stem cultures. So it is one field which has continuously evolved, and I think this evolution, this change, insight and peep into new things, and it has so many possibilities that one lifetime is not enough for it to explore completely. If you see any other surgery, it is all about the patient, but it is never about another aspect which is there in cornea, and that is the donor. So I think it is multifaceted, and these are the things which keep going. I think cornea just adds a spark to your life. So I don't know what is that inspiring trait which has made us a personality, but I just know one thing, that ever since we started our journey into academics, and for that matter into MBBS or MD, and then senior residency, and then pool officer, and then subsequently became a consultant in RP Center AIIMS, the only thing that I would say that is required is hard work and perseverance. So perseverance is very important. Like for instance, just to give you a few examples from my life itself, when I joined MD Ophthalmology and I finished my post-graduation, I wanted to do a senior residency in RP Center AIIMS, and I did get senior residency in Safdarjung Hospital, but I wanted to come back to RP Center. So that was foremost in my mind, and then I worked hard despite getting a senior residency in some other place, because I wanted to come back to my alma mater. And I gave the exam again for senior residency. I did not get it in the first time. So after qualifying it, I became a senior resident here. Likewise, when my senior residency was over, I wanted to be a faculty in AIIMS RP Center, and there were no posts. There were no posts for very many years. So I joined as a pool officer, And when I joined as a pool officer, there were times, when a lot of times I felt whether I should continue or not. But I knew that if I left RP Center, I will not be able to come back again. So I continued as a pool officer. I would also like to highlight one more thing, that you have to be blessed to be working with good mentors and good people here. And I want to thank God for all the opportunities, thank RP Center for all the opportunities that I had, and I worked with the best of the people, which included Professor V.K. Dada, who was the chief of RP Center when I joined my pool officer. So he was, one of the guiding forces, truly inspiring, very encouraging. Then I met Professor Anita Panda, under whom I did my thesis, and again she was, very hardworking, and there are so many things which are to learn from her. Subsequently, I was mentored by Professor Vajpayee, and through him I learned all the surgeries, the writing skills, writing books, writing publications, doing studies which would make a difference. So I think these are the things which make a difference. Your hard work pays, your perseverance pays, and apart from that, I would say that destiny also has a role to play. And because I had such opportunities to work with great people, I could achieve much more than what I had expected to. And you have to have good mentors in life, you have to have good teachers who can guide you. And sometimes it is said that, and I'm quoting Professor V.K. Dada here, who says that what a teacher can tell you in 2 or 3 sentences, sometimes you read 3,000 pages of a book and you don't come to know the crux of the problem or the solution of the problem. So I think I was blessed to be having given opportunities to be working with stalwarts, and that is why I think I could do whatever I had aimed for and hoped for. So as far as the challenges in life are concerned, everybody faces them, and there are quite a lot as you go through your journey. So like I said earlier, after every 3 years, like it happens in everybody's life, you are on the roads. So you do your MD 3 years and then you don't know what to do. Then you wait for senior residency 3 years, then you don't know what to do. Then you do join pool officer or any research job. And if you are focused that you want to do an academic job, get into an academic institution, then you have to wait for a vacancy or a post there. So when I joined as assistant professor, the advertisements in AIIMS, they came out after 9 years, and there were some court issues because of which the advertisement did not come out. So after completing my pool officer, I had to wait for another 6 more months before the final ad did come out, and that too we were inducted as ad hoc consultants. And subsequently 2 years later, the ad hoc again were confirmed through regular posts. So it has been a long gap between the senior residency and between actually doing cornea, because in pool officership we never used to get surgeries. So for 3.5 years, in fact, I did no surgeries. I saw surgeries, I assisted them, I video edited them, and I would like to highlight one more factor here, that even if you don't do surgeries yourself, it really doesn't make a difference, because if you see other people doing, or if you assist other people, all the mistakes that you would do in your own life, you learn from what others are doing. You cannot make all the mistakes yourself, but when you come with a problem in your surgeries, or you face a problem or you face a challenge, you immediately know how your senior or mentor had managed those. And once you know how your mentor had managed those, you are able to then face the problem in that same manner. And I mean, you know what to do. You don't have to relearn everything by making your own mistakes. So that was a challenge when you are out of surgery for say 2 years or 3 years. Then you don't know whether when you'll pick up the surgery you'll have the confidence to do it or not. But then when you take the surgical stream again and you start your resurgeries, you realize it's like riding a bicycle, you never forget it all your life. So those reflexes come back to you immediately. So I think that was one of the challenge that I faced when I was in Cornea, but by virtue of being in RP Center, I think we've had the state of the art techniques, the technology, the machines, the eye banking systems in place. So as far as that was concerned, that was never a problem or a challenge. But yes, the problems were there prior to getting into RP Center. So after ophthalmology, I think it is going to be cornea only for me, cornea and ocular surface. I cannot think of doing anything else in life. And I just want to highlight, I mean, I've just known ophthalmology only as my subject, as my life, as my everything, because I've not thought anything beyond ophthalmology, and I think that's my limitation. I've never tried to explore anything beyond ophthalmology, which should have been done, and I really don't know what I'm going to do later. But as of now, it is only ophthalmology and ophthalmology. For that matter, in 365 days, 24/7, it has been only ophthalmology. And when these COVID times are not there and we could travel, I think it used to be only 3 or 4 days which we used to take off for family vacation, but it was minus that, it was only ophthalmology. Postgraduates, the message from my side to the postgraduates as far as the cornea is concerned is that you should try to learn the basics of cornea. Then you should also try to learn the various investigative techniques in cornea which have undergone a revolution as far as the corneal topography or corneal tomography is concerned. Then nowadays we even have the in vivo structure of the cornea, which could be looked at with the help of confocal microscopy, and also the various surgical techniques which have truly undergone a revolution. And I'm sure that if you learn about these techniques such as the lamellar surgeries or layer by layer replacement of the cornea, you would really fall in love with cornea, and you would want to take cornea as your subspecialty as you become more senior. So all the best, wish you all the best, and let's hope we have many more cornea surgeons in future. Thank you.